What is it?
It's a headlight leveling sensor bar.
Strut assembly via the jack. 18 mil. Six Allen pass through right in there.
One goes on the top of the suspension strut, and then the little one goes on the end link for the sway bar.
Okay, so we move the strut out of the way
And take off the top hat of the strut and then remove it from the bottom. This is an 18 millimeter torque. Oops.
here. Perfect.
And then get this part.
Spin it. That's the way to do it.
In our lowering springs, 1-inch drop front and rear. Make sure you're installing it with the letters facing upwards.
Alright, so when you install the spring, make sure in the middle of the spring, otherwise you'd have to back the spring back out. Okay, make sure that the bottom end here seats in the correct spot. There's a little stop right there. And then reinstall the boot.
Make sure it's seated properly as well. Should stop spinning when you spin it clockwise. And then the bump stop.
Bump stop going in. And you can support it with the jack while you're putting the boot and the spring back in there. Now we're going to lower it back down to get the top. Putting the bolts back in. So we jacked up the steering hub back so that we can install, or at least guide the strut back into the top plate here. Compressor needed. 18 45 foot-pounds.
Pop the ball out of the socket. What's it done? We can just use the jack.
Yeah. You gotta remove that little. Four 10 mil. And 2 bolts, one here and one here. This one here has nut on the back end of it, so make sure when you take this out to lock the back nut. Okay, that came down. There's a spring, came out. There it is. Okay, finally on. There's the old spring. Hold on. Right. Make sure the spring is centered here on the spinning plastic. Otherwise you'll have issues, or it'll make some sounds. So make sure the spring is centered, also as well as the strut.